All right, welcome back to another episode of Small Guys Podcast. Today we're reviewing the greatest beer run ever. Today's just me, Brian, and Andrew. But really, before we get into this movie, we kind of wanted to tackle the movie news for this week. Let's see here. Aubrey Plaza, Eric Andre, and Sasha Zamata join the Agatha Coven of Chaos, the new Disney Plus show. That's a weird cast. I don't know.
It
Yeah, that
is.
is strange.
Especially the Eric Andre
I was
part.
gonna say the Eric Andre. I don't know if you guys watched all of the Eric Andre show.
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is one of the most wildest shows. And what's funny is people coming off of interviews like after doing a show, like doing the Eric Andre show, and they'll be like, "So what's Eric Andre like when he's not on camera?" And they're like, "Oh, like he's super chill. Like he's a super humble guy. Like he's super quiet. Just keeps to himself. Like great person to be around." But then you see that show, and he is balls to the walls, like butt ass naked, doing the randomest things. And
yeah.
I'm glad you brought it up because that was the one where I like had to do a double take. I was like, "Did I read that right?" And I even clicked on the Twitter thing to make sure it was the verified page, not like one of those parody ones. But I'm super excited to see how he does in this.
Does that make you want to watch it?
It does. It does.
Okay.
I want to see what he's like.
I think I was gonna watch it regardless.
Obviously, I don't think he's gonna be in it right away. So I'm gonna let you guys watch it and then let me know when Eric Andre gets into it, and then I'll start watching.
Then you'll hop in.
Yeah, and that's my plan. That's actually gonna be my plan moving forward for most of these Marvel shows. Just a heads up.
Yeah, I
Unless it's
almost
one
said
that like
the
really strikes me, I don't imagine I'm gonna be watching these like as they come out.
I almost said the original title to the show. I don't know why they changed it to Coven of Chaos, maybe Chaos Magic, but
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, obviously,
what was it originally called?
it's like Hackness of Heartness or Darkness of Hackness, something weird.
It sounds kind of dumb.
Originally. Yeah,
Sounds
they
like a
changed
good
it.
call.
I think they changed it about a year ago, I want to
Mhm.
say. So, now it's Coven of Chaos. But yeah, I think it's because of Chaos Magic and everything like that. So, Warner Brothers Discovery wants to make Harry Potter films if J.K. Rowling agrees. So, Brian, I kind of want to get your thoughts on that. What did you?
So my thoughts on it is I'm excited for it. I think it could be done very well. Again, it's on record here on this podcast, and obviously with you guys, you know this. I rewatch these movies fucking once or twice a year.
Big Harry Potter guy. This man.
There is a lot of fucking potential for what can happen. Um, and what I'm worried about is the involvement with J.K. Rowling. I think I brought it up on here.
Yeah,
She's a giant piece of human garbage.
she writes a good book.
But and again though, but at the same time, like uh she ripped that story. If you look into it, she essentially ripped Sorcerer's Stone from someone else and made it like her own and like did a twist to it. And I mean, again, I love Harry Potter.
You're
So I'm
telling me
glad
she
that
wasn't on a
did.
napkin with this original idea? What?
No, yeah. And so that's the thing. I think if she green lights it, then perfect. But I don't really want to see involvement from her. Again, what's the newest one is the Beast. Why am I blanking on the
Fantastic
name?
Beasts?
Fantastic Beast. I don't think she had much involvement in those, and a lot of people didn't like them. But me personally, I didn't hate them. I thought they were all good watches. Granted, I haven't seen the third one yet. I think I'll still like it
There's
though.
only 3, right?
Yeah, and and I know I'll still like it. It was just a matter of I never got around to the theaters of seeing it, and then like we started picking up the podcast, watching more and more stuff for this. Um, but again, it comes down to her not really having a big involvement, which sucks because like I'm sure she has ideas, but being the human dumpster that she is, like I don't really want anything from her, and it sucks that she's even gonna get paid from this.
Yeah, the only worry I have is like, I don't know. I feel like maybe Warner Bros. Is just like, we have the second best thing to Star Wars. Maybe we can. I mean, I hope it's good if
Yeah,
they put it out.
and that's why I think though, again, there's got to be someone out there that isn't just trying to do a money grab, not trying to do like a Marvel thing where they expand the whole fucking universe, but
Yeah,
where they expand it tastefully, like, oh, you
yeah.
want to look more into this, let's go for it. And I think they had said they wanted to do something that was basically going to be the background to Voldemort. and how he
That could
became
be
the
cool.
most powerful dark wizard.
Yeah, there you don't have
And
a
that'd
ton on
be
that.
pretty fucking sick. And I mean,
Yeah.
like you kind of get it in like the sixth movie. Again, I do need to read these books because I know people are probably like, how the fuck are you a Potterhead? But you
I
haven't
read
read
the
the
books.
books. Yeah, I've only read 3 of them at
Well,
this
actually,
point.
I didn't read the last one. Disclaimer.
um, but again, I gotta imagine that there's someone out there that's capable of taking this story and making it something good.
Yeah,
So, and if
I
they go
believe that.
through with it, I think time will tell at this point. I don't know. I almost don't know how I would feel about like a mini series. I almost feel like we would need another movie because a mini series at this point, I feel like again, it's TV. You know, you can't show everything at once. And you got to have suspense, and you got to have people coming back every week. Fuck that. Give me that in a movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
from there,
fair.
if the movie's good, maybe look into doing these mini episodes or
So
mini
do they actually though want like Daniel Radcliffe's Harry Potter in it, or is it like a reboot thing? You think,
from
or
the sounds of it, well, this would be a prequel. So if they do the Rise of Lord Voldemort,
It'd be beforehand.
yeah, that would be like
and there's no books on that, right?
No.
no. And again,
Okay.
actually, that's what the tangent I was supposed to go on right there, but I forgot.
Oh, okay.
6 is where you get the background with Professor fucking I want to say Lovebottom. I don't even know if that's his
Snape.
fucking name. No, not Snape. It's the guy that gives Harry the potion that's basically just pure luck. But he was close with Tom Riddle, who becomes Voldemort, and he finds out what the Horcruxes are, and that's when he murders 7 people and puts his body in 7 different pieces, which is the 7 deadly Horcruxes that are in the last movie and book. And like again, that's really the only background you get. Plus, in that 6 movies, when you get the first ever flashback through the dream thing, Dumbledore brings Harry in, and like they have the flashback, and it's the first day ever that Dumbledore had met him, and all this crazy stuff was happening. But yeah, you don't get much background, and it would be cool to see because again, you got to remember this motherfucker basically built like the fucking wizard KKK. And so that means like he would have had to have like been super powerful and persuaded all these fucking ignorant people to like join his side. And there's a lot of them, as we could see throughout the fucking movies, especially at the end, the Battle of Hogwarts. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people that support this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious to see how they'd go about making those movies, especially with them not really having any source material to go off from the books and stuff like that. And you know, because was the Fantastic Beasts, was that a book?
No, I'm pretty sure that one was just spitballing. I think the
Okay.
only thing that came from J.K. Rowling after that is when they did the playwright right after the 8th movie had came out.
Okay, so
think that
maybe you
one-
couldn't maybe make the argument with those not being as good as the original Harry Potter movies. Maybe
Well,
them
that's
kinda
what
going
a
off
lot of
script.
people do. And
Okay.
again, my thing is why I like it. It's fun. It's in the world. You get to see young Dumbledore. Well, in the second movie, young Dumbledore. But on top of that, it's like these people didn't have a script and they just wanted to see what the fuck they could do.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't hate it.
Well, and those movies still make money too, right? I mean,
Yeah,
being
they
in that
still are
universe,
raking
so.
in fucking millions. You're
Which
riding
makes
off
sense
that
as to
wave.
why they want to continue.
Yeah,
right?
and again,
So-
like I said, I don't want them to Marvel the shit out of this. I've said it
Yeah.
before. Marvel has ruined cinema in a sense. People are like to expand on this and that, and it's like okay, expansions are cool, but I think you're expanding on the wrong fucking things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I agree to an extent. And
but after I read that, I mean, I'm hyped. Only time will tell at this point. And again, I hope they do it tastefully, and this isn't just a fucking cash grab to them.
well, they need Rowling's like approval, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and again,
do it, so.
I really hope that because again, she's gonna get paid regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Greenlight it. Quit being a bitch. Like no one wants to hear you talk. No one wants to
Probably
hear
ask for even more money.
Trans rights. Like no, like no one wants to fucking hear her to talk about being a bigot. Like fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm over it. It sucks having to say that because again, she wrote 7 solid fucking books. But come on now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how are you gonna turn into a giant piece of shit?
Yeah. This is some Wakanda Forever news. Ryan Coogler says Wakanda Forever was originally going to focus on T'Challa struggling to resume life after Thanos' snap. In quotes, he was going to be grieving the loss and of the time of him being gone. Director Ryan Coogler also says that Namor is as strong as Thor and Hulk. And then two, this movie is currently sitting at 93% Rotten Tomato score. I don't know. What do you guys kind of think of that? I mean, kind of to tackle what the original movie was going to be like. I actually wondered that a lot. These last couple of years.
Yeah. Um, I feel like the transition into what they're going to do, I guess we'll find out this week when we see it.
Because I don't know much about what this movie's really supposed to be. I mean, really, I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
it's
I
just
tried to
like
stay away from the clips, like they're releasing clips
I know, but
now.
even the trailer is vague, so I'm
Yeah.
curious to see what they sent. I know there's
Mhm.
going to be like, I mean, almost every movie has some sort of message, it seems like, so especially
Sure.
something like this. I guess I'm curious to see what they do with
Yeah.
it, but that's cool
Well,
to
you
know
know.
what it originally was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still excited for it.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to talk about what we're doing for the rewind this week?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just to get it. So we decided we would pick 42, which is Chadwick Boseman's like first big fucking movie. And I genuinely forgot that was his role until I saw the first, or well, not even Black Panther, when he was in Civil War. I was like, how the fuck do I know this guy? And I remember Spencer, like me and him were talking about it. Spencer was like, dude, that's the guy from 42. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, but that shit made me sad. Like when I started 42, I was like, ah, fuck, dude. And then like I thought about it, and I go, Thursday I might cry. Like I generally might cry seeing this. And again, this is all the pressure on Marvel, and I think Marvel knows that.
I think
Not
they do,
only
yeah.
do they have to deliver us a great fucking tribute to honor the legend that Chadwick Boseman was, but then you have to produce a non-shitty movie, which they've been on a roll of doing.
They've been on a roll of shitty movies.
And again, Doc Doom popping up at the end isn't going to be enough for me. Like, if that's actually what's going to happen, no, like, fuck.
I don't even care if it does.
Give me a send off to my guy.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily care about like big. It seems like Marvel's new formula with Phase 4, which we'll maybe get into the whole breakdown in a different video, but it's throw a bunch of hodgepodge scenes together. The videos aren't mixing, and then boom, cameo.
Yep.
Have a great day.
Yep.
That seems to be the formula that they've created. Where the other movies had this bigger picture. I watched a video on it, and it was really true, where they all cohesively come together, where this is just like
tasteful fucking cameos, dude.
Yeah, this is just like the big event to the movie is this cameo, and the rest of it is meh.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So.
Well, I think we went off last year, Black Widow and Eternals and stuff like that. And we're like, ugh, but and then we're like, we have the Doctor Strange sequel and the next Thor movie, and things like that. I mean, we ended on the high note. I think Spider-Man was really good. I like Shang-Chi a lot too. But like, I think we had high hopes for those movies, and then those were both kind of stinkers.
Yeah.
So kind of like, we're here. I mean, I will really be disappointed if this movie's like where Thor was and where Doctor Strange.
I hope it's not.
I don't think it will be, but also like I'm not going in with like the expectations that I had going into Doctor Strange 2. And
no, I'm going into it with a different. I hope it more focuses on like a real grand, genuine send off for Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, just trying to pick at laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want it to be. I hope it's a more serious film. I mean, with its comedic relief, of course.
I'm gonna be pissed if I'm getting quips at like screaming goats. Like, fuck yourself if that's.
That is
like if it's tasteful, like definitely. Like I hope they had something where T'Challa at least says something funny, because like that'd be fucking.
Crazy. Yeah, you need.
And that's gonna be a moment where like I'm gonna fucking cry. It's like, God damn it! Like we're really never gonna see this guy on the big screen again. But yeah, after watching 42 last night, like I had to pause it at one point, and like one powerful ass role, which we'll get into on Thursday's episode. Or yeah, does it come out on Tuesday's episode? Sorry, T's confused me. But yeah, dude, I had to pause it. It was just like fuck, like this movie has to be good. Like Black Panther has to be good, and I hope with them changing it, they were able to make it work. And again, like I genuinely won't be hurt if they don't progress anything in the phases. Like obviously we'll see these people again. But like again, as far as cameo goes in your fucking face, I hope it's just in the end credits. Like I hope they go back to doing that. Because again, that's what was cool. Like
yeah, it made
America was announced, it was all the way at the end credits. Like he wasn't in the movie. He's at the end credits, and it was just like Well, it wasn't like actually now that I'm thinking about it, it was the end of Captain America, which like Captain America will return in the Avengers. It was like, all right, fucking badass.
Yeah,
You know, like, and it wasn't no
it kept
part of the movie. It was at
it
the end.
it kept you interested. There was some mystery behind it. You wanted to look it up.
Mhm.
For example, like the cameo in Doctor Strange. I remember I had no idea at all who that chick was. I'm into the MCU from the movies. I never read
Mhm.
any of the comics, but I've seen all the movies from basically originally when they came out. I didn't actually start going to theater to see them until the first Captain America, and then I kind of
Right.
followed after that.
Mhm.
Um, but there's no, it's not cohesive. That's the best way to put it, like the best
Yeah.
word to describe it. All these movies just feel like their own little piece,
Mhm.
and you want them to kind of, if Mike was here, he would say how this is a building phase, and that's not acceptable
It's not.
anymore. We're
It's all fucking scatterbrained, man.
Yeah,
It's nothing rolling together. And again, I get it. They are doing a lot now, but at the same time, it's like, fuck, man. Where's the quality? And
yeah,
we talked about that during the Phase episode. Like, and like even about Blade not too long ago. Like, I'm glad Blade got delayed. They should be delaying these fucking movies. Like, I'll
yeah,
always be around to watch these movies, but like, holy shit, stop pushing them out so fast that you can't even keep up. Like, who was it pointed out? Didn't you point out that they changed CGI on Disney Plus already? And it's
Yeah,
like
for
that
Thor.
should have been in the fucking final version. Like,
hmm
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to go to Disney Plus to see what you
watch
really
yeah.
wanted.
Oh,
Like,
hey,
what?
we gotta fix this up. We forgot about that. Like,
No, and honestly, if we really want to get on the topic, I feel like that's how a lot of things in the world are right now. Like when it comes to like video games and other TV shows and other fucking movies, it's like we're getting half-ass products and we're being too consumptuous that all of us are like, gimme, gimme, gimme. Prime example, we've all been playing the shit out of COD. They're already announcing like, oh, we're gonna keep updating the game, but this time next year you're gonna pay another $70 to get the rest of the game. And it's like, dude,
really? I didn't know
eh,
that.
yeah, yeah, it's on Twitter. You should check our group chat sometime.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not active
No,
on
I
Twitter
mean,
yet.
but yeah, if the consumer's buying what they're selling, why even sell the full
And that's what
finished product?
sucks, dude. We got the fucking purchasing power. We got the
Yeah.
purchasing
I think
power.
that's
And
gonna
we just
change. I
keep
think
fucking
I
feeding into it.
I think that'll we're going off on a tangent here, but I think that'll
This is
change
the
over
first reimburse or inverse. I don't even know the word I'm looking for. First installment of Brian's Corner right here. What the fuck is wrong with the world?
No, but it is true. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do too with people like as time has gone on, people are less and less patient. We expect more and more and more. So the bar
Hey,
is being set higher, and the time to do things is being cut shorter.
yep.
And now we're getting stuff that's not even close to the bar that's
Mhm.
put out in that amount of like I'd much rather with movies, with video games, with everything in the world. Movies and video games is kind of
Mhm.
what we're focusing on here, but take the time, do what you got to do, get the
Mhm.
resources you need. I know you're making a ton of fucking money. Everyone sees it when a movie has a $50 million budget and it box offices at $400 million. Like, you've got the money to
Yeah.
do it.
And
Yeah.
again, what's crazy too is like if they took their fucking time, people are going to be repeat moviegoers, you know? And I'm not
Yeah, what
talking
you're
for
gonna
other movies. I'm talking about like Infinity War and Endgame. I know for a fact we all saw it twice in theaters.
Oh yeah,
Like because those were both good
good
fucking movies.
movies.
Also, where the fuck's Michael Smith when we need him? That red quote, I can't think of it off the top of my head about like it seems like the world started growing and then it just kept growing and growing. Or was it the world got faster and then just got faster and faster? And like here we are now getting these shit products that we're paying for. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck? And again, Marvel is to blame, I feel like, for a lot of this when it comes to movies.
The consumer is too. I mean,
I
us,
mean,
we
yeah.
want stuff fast. We want the next big thing, and the problem is they can't physically do it. The work for like everything is
Mhm.
changing world.
But
Yeah.
honestly, they should just stop bending the knee, you know?
Yeah,
Again, we're gonna go see these movies, and
no, I
especially
agree.
a
Take your
longer
time.
frame. All of us are gonna get fucking real hype. And granted, we might get our hopes down because we did wait so long, but also the movies aren't gonna be mid as fuck.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
these movies are at least gonna be like 75% up.
And it's not even like a nostalgia thing, like that we like original ones more.
Mhm.
It's like they are objectively better. Like
Yes.
if you look at like the first Iron Man to the new Doctor Strange, like
Mhm.
I don't know, it's probably pretty damn close. If Iron Man it used more practical effects, it might look better.
Yeah.
And like Doctor Strange grossed more money, had a much higher budget, and is way flashier. But I don't need flashy. And it doesn't just go for Marvel movies because that's what we're focusing on here. But
Mhm.
I don't need flashy for it to be good. Take your time,
Yeah.
and really think it out.
Well, prime example, I feel like in recent days, like that "Don't Worry, Darling" movie, it got too flashy because of all the hype building up behind
It
it.
did,
The movie
yeah.
came out, it was just fucking terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
terrible, but it definitely was like.
I didn't rewatch. I watched the first half because it's on HBO now, and I was like, I'm really fucking glad I didn't pay money to
You
go
didn't
see
watch
this
the
by
ending? You don't
myself.
know how it ends?
I don't give a fuck how it ends.
Oh, well, it's not
The
what
movie's
you.
pretty good, actually.
I was gonna say we did a review on it
Really?
if you're
Oh,
listening.
fuck.
It's
Wait, you guys reviewed? Was this a podcast?
this is podcast. This is Small Guys podcast.
Buy our
but-
hats.
Yeah. Buy our hats. We make about $3 per hat. Please buy them. We're trying to fund our eating and drinking habits.
If Small Guys can reimburse me for a trip back to the east side, like that's when I know we made it.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to expense that out, unfortunately. I'll check the budget, but I don't think we can afford that quite yet.
All right, I apologize. We went on a big tangent here.
Yeah,
It
so
did.
to bring it back,
Let's we'll kind of I'll hit it, Josh. We'll kind of go a little bit quicker with these. All right, so next we got a Grogu short film is releasing on Disney Plus on November 12th.
Is it Christmas? Themed?
I don't believe
no,
so.
I don't think so.
It does turn
Okay.
out though that Italy accidentally posted this
heard about
and
that.
then deleted the announcement.
Yep.
So also November 12th is the 3rd anniversary of The Mandalorian. So I think that's kind of the tie-in with why
Yeah.
they're doing that.
Perfect. I was making sure to rewatch the first season.
Yeah,
Yeah, that show is awesome.
That's a great show. The first time you hear that Mando theme I can't even do it with my mouth, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know
we
what
all
you're
can
talking
hear
about.
it in our head right now.
yeah. I mean, even in the Book of Boba Fett, when he like shows up
Yeah.
that first time, and yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
damn, here we go. Gets you in the fields and everything like that. Yeah. I
Yeah,
can
go ahead,
continue.
Sorry.
Sean Levy or Levi. I think it's Sean Levy.
Yeah, I didn't want to mispronounce his name. Actually, that's why I was letting you say it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he directed things like recently, like Uncharted, and like he did the Night of the Museum movies.
Fuck
just
yeah.
to
I
name
forgot
some
about
that I've
those.
seen.
Those are good movies.
Yeah, he did the Internship too, and he was like he did Real Steel. Movies like that.
Damn, those are all great.
Yeah, so he's in talks to do the new Star Wars movies.
Actually, yeah, I read that today.
Potential. There's
Yeah,
some potential
so-
there.
That's pretty exciting.
I would say the best way to do that, let the director do what the director knows best. Let them listen to, hopefully they dive in a little bit to like the
Mhm.
fandom with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I feel like to actually care about the film, you got to do that. You got to listen to some of the fans. You're never going to please them all. That's
No.
Yeah.
But listen to what they have to say. They may have some good feedback that could help you.
Yeah.
Roll
Well,
with
because
the movie.
that's another thing too, is like I remember all of us saying it like when we were younger, like, oh, I can't wait to see the games that come out when we're all older. And it's like we're here
Games
now and we're
suck.
still getting shit games. And like you figured the same thing would happen with movies. Like we've all grown up fucking like movie nerds. And when I say we all, I mean like obviously us small guys, like all of us grew up like movie nerds, like we fucking
Yeah.
did that shit up. When the fuck are we gonna get a nerd? Like, I mean, and like, don't get me wrong, there's great fucking directors out there and they've been killing it. But like, when are we gonna get some nerd that goes in there and is like, all right, fuck the new trilogy for Star Wars. We're gonna come out here. This is
Yeah.
what the fuck I'm gonna do. And maybe just put big balls on the table and be like, fuck you guys. This is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna see how the fans react. And I guarantee we would love it if we got like a real true nerd in there that's been around from day one.
I believe so.
Yeah. He also directed to the Adam Project, Free Guy, and then he's doing Deadpool 3. So
Nice.
yeah, so he's been working with Ryan Reynolds a lot too.
I was gonna say, what was the other Ryan Reynolds movie? It was Free Guy. He did 3 with him, didn't he? Like,
Free
really
Guy,
recently?
Adam Project, and Deadpool.
Okay.
So
I forgot
Yeah,
about
he's-
Adam Project. That's a good watch.
yeah, that's on Netflix.
That was a real tearjerker at the end.
Yeah. Westworld has been canceled after 4 seasons.
Fuck,
The
really?
core Westworld, Westworld cast will be paid out throughout season 5.
That's a
Despite the
pretty
show
good
being
deal.
canceled. Yeah.
Not bad.
No, I
Probably
mean,
getting 300K an episode. Fuck.
Yeah.
did you watch it, Brian?
My buddy Nick, when we lived together, watched it, and I watched I think 3 or 4 from season 1, and that was pretty good. It reminded me a lot of when I was playing Outer Worlds. I kept thinking of that game or that
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, so season 1 is it's almost a masterpiece, honestly. Season 1's amazing.
Mhm.
And then season 2's okay, and then I stopped watching because I heard 3 was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So
See, I didn't know that. I thought 3 was still rocking, so that would make sense.
yeah. Yeah, so I think it's season 3 has Aaron Paul in it actually. He's kind of starring in it.
I remember
so.
hearing that.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw he was in it, but then I kind of waited until the end of the season. And I heard season 3 was really bad, but I never got around to watching. I probably will still.
I've heard his first opening line when he got introduced goes, "Yo, bitch."
That would have me sold.
Mr. White.
Lionsgate. I know we talked about it last week too, about video games. So we'll hit on this really quick. Lionsgate is looking to develop a major John Wick video game. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Could be cool. Could be absolute shit.
Yeah. Well, it depends who makes the game.
If they rolled into it though, like a fucking Hitman style game, I'm down as fuck. Except for the aspect that this time around is you can do the Hitman aspect where you can go sneaky, but also Hitman has that option to go through the fucking roof and just blow everyone up, kill them all.
Yeah.
But they would have to do that times 5 because we've all seen these John Wick movies.
Well, and that's the best part of those movies too, is those action scenes. So if the video game can capitalize on the fights and the shooting and everything like that, and make them really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on what company ends up making the game. If EA makes this game, it's gonna be a piece of shit.
Oh yeah,
they're not. They haven't been in good light.
That's why I don't trust them making those Marvel games. But
yeah, no, those would be bad.
Well, because who made that Avengers game? Was that EA?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wasn't a fan of that.
I believe so.
Wasn't really a fan of that one.
Yeah. I think the same people made the Guardians game too. That just came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard that one's not that bad. So I don't know.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what they do. Andor season 2 starts filming November 21st. So
nice.
2 weeks.
Exciting. I haven't seen. I saw the first. I saw the first 3 episodes.
My coworker dies on it. Dies on the hill. Though that's a great fucking show.
I saw on Twitter.
I will be watching it probably in the next month when I have some time off from work.
I know. Busy.
I'm excited too. It's rated pretty highly.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter people were begging other people to watch the show and give it a chance because it's so good. But like Andrew, I've only watched the first 3 episodes. I will watch it for sure. I mean, and we will review
Me too.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, because I think episode 9 or 10 just came out, or 10's about to come out.
When's it supposed to end?
There's only 12 episodes. So it'll probably end when the next season starts filming. Probably.
Right, yeah, review with it. Crank through it, try to get everyone.
Yeah, we'll tackle it at the end of the month, beginning of December.
Each episode's only 30 minutes, right?
I think so.
Yeah, 40 minutes. Terrible.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I'm excited to watch that. It is getting good reviews though. Henry Cavill shuts down any rumors that he will be in House of the Dragons. We mentioned this last week briefly.
Terrible.
Yeah, he was quoted saying, "I think it would be nice to be in Westeros. I really do, but I don't think there's a place for me there."
Did he say there or did he say not yet?
He just said there.
Ah, fuck.
I think with him, because we had speculated with him leaving,
The
Witcher on Netflix. Maybe, obviously it got announced recently that he's going to go back to being Superman, but we were hoping maybe he'll also step into Westeros and be a character on House of the Dragons. That'd be really cool. But also, he's such a big actor. Maybe he'd take away from everyone. I think the biggest actor they probably have on there right now is Matt Smith, right? So
is that Otto?
No, that's Damien. Matt Smith is in Morbius too. Remember? Your favorite movie? Yeah, so I don't know,
because Otto is actually the fucking lizard from Amazing Spider-Man, isn't he?
Yeah. So
and
I don't know.
I was gonna.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy. He would have been cool to have on the show though. So
we'll see. Next you got the first episode of Stranger Things final season is titled The Crawl.
I'm a production that show wraps, even if it's bad or not.
I know production on the final season has officially started as of when we are reading this. That's one of our better episodes on this podcast, if not our best.
It's our number 1, isn't it?
Yeah, I think people digged our. If you haven't seen it, listen to our season 4.
I had one friend
Stranger Things
that listened to it, and I forgot who said that this was the best season of the show, and he goes, "I haven't gone back to your podcast yet." Then I beat his ass this weekend, so he said he's gonna listen again. So Nick,
Gotcha.
if you're here,
Yeah, that was probably Aiden's take or something. Sounds like an
but-
Aiden take.
I said
Uh,
that season 1 was the
yeah,
best.
I remember me and Andrew
With
being in the
Brian,
same
yeah.
boat. So
Yeah, season 1 was a little mid.
we got any more movie news?
Yeah, new trailer for Glass Onion has been released. I know Brian, you still haven't even watched Knives Out yet.
No, that
Shame,
and
shame,
I
shame.
apologize for missing that episode. I genuinely forgot that I had to watch another movie for some reason. I thought we were doing 42, and I thought I could just watch it before bed and not really pay attention. Which I mean, I'm glad that I didn't do that because again, like I said, rewatching it last night, I was like, oh my god, this is a great fucking movie. But Knives Out, I do fully intend on watching because I do want to see the fucking sequel. And on top of that, my uncle has put me on to a ton of good movies since I've known him, and then I think he joined our family when I was like fucking 13. So from 13 to 23 now, he's put me on so much shit, and that is one where he blew me the fuck up about going to see. And I think I lied at one point and said that I watched it just so that way he would leave me alone.
Wow.
But it's been on my list forever. And I want to apologize for the fans for not watching it. I know it's held highly. But I'll be on for the sequel podcast episode. I guarantee it.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
and
I'm
watched by then.
I'm kind of torn on what I want to do because I know like me and Aiden especially are super excited to see this movie, like want to see it as soon as possible.
Mhm.
I mean we all gave the first one in the 90s, I think, or
damn.
I gave
high
it an
80s.
89.
High 80s, yeah,
Just to
high
be a
80s.
dick. Just to finish
Yeah.
us off with a fucking insult.
Yeah. And it is coming out November 23rd early. It's a month early. It's only for a couple days, and then it comes out December 23rd a month later, and then a week after that it's on Netflix. So I mean
Now-
it is a Netflix movie.
My only offer is if we wanted to go Black Friday, I
Okay.
have to work that day, so it would
Yeah.
have to be at like 5:15. I could get to the theater.
Yeah.
But that
We'll plan it
Wednesday,
out.
I have work. Plus, it's like the biggest bar night, and I have to get fitted for a suit, so I won't be able to go that Wednesday that you guys planned.
Yeah. Well, I'm just torn on like I guess
can't
when
go
the
that
best time
Wednesday.
is. Yeah, see, like so it kind of doesn't work out for us to maybe release that episode around then because
A lot of people won't even have seen it by then.
yeah, and like I want it to maybe some people are holding
We
off
could do
for Netflix for it to be on Netflix before watching
now
it. So.
to our small guys listener, you can hear us spitball. This is usually how the ideas go. We could do something along the lines of our first ever spoiler free little snippet. Like we could do 20 minutes, but not even 20 because it'd be 10, no spoilers. Just what the fuck we think about it, give our scores, and then we get
Yeah.
into it, and then we could rewatch it, and then we could see if our score drops or if it goes up, anything like that.
Yeah,
Which
yeah. I
would be
mean,
cool to see. We
figure it
could see
out.
the
I mean,
progression in a month. That'd be kind of cool if we could figure something out like that.
yeah, I just don't know. I don't know
Not a
how
bad
people
idea.
will take it. Like, oh, I do want to watch that movie, but I'm just not like eager to go see it. I'll just wait for it to come on Netflix.
That'll
and
be
I totally
probably
get
most
that. I
people.
am a big proponent for chilling and watching a new movie at home.
Yeah.
That's why I loved COVID.
But
Like-
like I said, there's
Wow,
people like
hot
me.
take. Brian loves COVID.
No, whoa! I didn't say I loved COVID. I said that's what I loved about COVID was the fact that we were getting these movies at home. Like Snyder Cut, probably wouldn't have sat there for 3 hours for that.
Four.
But being able to watch 2 hours, pause
Yeah.
it, go get Wendy's with my boy. Plus, it was broken up into chapters for you, so that was nice.
Yeah.
We went and got Wendy's. We came back. We chit chatted. We drank a beer. They're like, "All right, let's get back into it."
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I know me and Aiden especially like really love that first movie, and when this trailer dropped, I was excited to watch it. I watched it right away.
Mhm.
So, the sooner I can see this movie, the happier I'll be. So I
Definitely.
still kind of want to go see it, but honestly, I'll probably see it twice, especially if we are gonna tackle it at the end of December and release
Okay,
the episode. then.
I'm totally down to watch it twice. 'Cause I think it would be cool to see the progression in our scores, just
Yeah.
to see what happens.
Not a
with
bad
that.
idea.
Yeah, so that's probably what we'll do. Avatar 4 and 5 may get canceled if Avatar: The Way of the
Good.
Water, which
Cancel
is
it.
Avatar 2 flops.
Cancel.
I feel like that's kind of no brainer, right? But it's
Yeah.
like with them, they already filmed the third one already. Like they're working on the fourth.
I
one
don't get
now.
it. Who,
So-
who loves these movies? I don't
know.
understand.
The first one's the most.
first one was ass, bro.
It's the
I
top
wasn't
gross movie of all
a fan
time.
that.
So, Monsters has been renewed for two more seasons. The project's basically similar to what Dahmer was. The new installments will focus on other monstrous figures and who have impacted society and the way of things. So like
I can't
a
believe
John Wayne
Aiden's gonna
Gacy
get
movie.
his own episode.
Yeah, an Aiden movie. Oh, that one's scary. So I don't know. I think we kind of figured maybe it'd go that way.
Yeah, we did.
I know too. Recently, we just covered The Watcher. That just got renewed for season 2. We all thought that was a limited series because it's based off a true story, and they kind of ended, not in a good way. If you listen to our review and our thoughts on it, but regardless, we kind of thought it came to an end. So I don't know what season 2 will have in it. I don't know why they got a season 2. Probably because season 1 is so popular. It's still top. I think it's number 1 or 2 on Netflix right now.
I guess I hope with season 2, what they do is maybe they say like this is no longer a true story, or like complete spinoff.
They have to, dude.
Just roll with something completely new.
Now they got to make fucking what's his name the villain because he's already watching the house after leaving.
Yeah, like will that original family even be in the show anymore?
I hope not.
Follow them.
Make it new.
I don't know. Wife was real pretty.
Maybe it focuses on the new family that's currently living there. I don't know. What did you guys think of? What do you guys think of them maybe doing like a Gacy show and other things like that? A Ted Bundy show, maybe. Like,
I mean,
like the Dahmer style.
If they can get the fucking rights, because we found out after the fact that no one really signed off on this Jeffrey Dahmer thing.
Yeah, they just kind of were like, "Fuck you, we're doing."
Yeah,
this
they were
show.
kind of like, because again, I imagine they got the rights from another TV station or something. But see,
I don't know if you need the rights on a true story.
I don't even. It's not even the rights, but run it by the family.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be tasteful.
Oh, sure. Dude. Yeah,
but
it's not like Lionsgate owns
them. All of them came out and just like, we didn't fucking green like this.
Oh
like,
yeah, we didn't
talking about.
Yeah, we didn't get like.
And now they have to relive their trauma. Like fuck.
Yeah.
But again, I don't need another Gacy. I don't need another Ted Bundy. Ed Kemper or Ed Gein would be a cool one to see.
Well, even like the Elvis movie that we reviewed recently, his family was really upset that they said there's a lot of inaccurate stuff throughout that film. And Elvis somewhat kind of is a character, an icon in a way, right? I mean,
yeah,
the way he portrays his character like that. So like that, I could even see more having rights to like an actual person, a sick psychopathic murderer like Dahmer,
like
Gacy.
Elvis.
Yeah, and again, that's what sucks is like again, it's public knowledge.
Yeah,
like everyone knows the victims, like they got caught, this and that, and it's just a tough spot to be,
Yeah,
I would still, if I'm Netflix, I'm not. Come to find out, actually, I'm not Netflix, but I know. But if I was Netflix and Netflix is listening like usual, I would probably contact all parties involved, the victims, the doer. I can't think of the word. But everyone involved in making that season, whoever they choose, I would just at least like get their input. Not even maybe they still roll even if they hear a no, but I mean at least give them the fucking
give them a heads up. Be like, hey, we're gonna make you relive your trauma.
Yeah, because it sounds like this was kind of just like released, and a lot of these people just found out as they found out, like everyone else, which is really kind of sad.
Yeah. Indiana Jones TV series is in the works at Disney Plus.
Oh, it's a TV series.
It's a teaser. Yeah, it's a TV series. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, so I think it must continue right after the 4th movie, which I believe Harrison Ford's then out, right, Brian? It's just like I think he's just supposed to do this one, and then that's it, right? From what I've heard, I mean,
I believe so. I think that's what I read. Again, a lot of this just comes from I forget the Twitter page. It's the Film Culture one with the Darth Vader with the 3D glasses. That motherfucker is so accurate. And when he's not, he'll like double back and be like, yo, like my fault. Here's the real story. That guy is super cool. Hey, buddy, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the pod.
No, so that's what I'm assuming is because, Harrison Ford will be out, and then maybe whoever they have next taking up the mantle or something will continue in the TV show and stuff like that. So that's what I assume they'll do. So we'll see how that goes.
Makes sense.
I'm excited to check that out, though. Ryan Reynolds says Deadpool 3 is aiming to start filming in spring of 2023. Pretty exciting. That's it. that Sean Levy movie. So
Mhm.
he's got a few big things that he's working on, right? So
Yeah.
um,
And this will be true to tell, I guess, because I imagine we'll get Deadpool 3 before we get fucking any Star Wars related. And it's
Probably.
like a very great sign. Because again, and so far what he's done, the Adam Project and fucking Free Guy, like that was sweet.
yeah, and I almost trust Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
not
yeah.
really gonna push
Yeah.
out a bad movie.
You
So
don't fucking bring back Hugh Jackman after Logan and shit the bed and
Yeah.
not give him like creative control. And
I mean,
same
Ryan
thing,
Reynolds wouldn't even let that
it
happen.
wasn't, and that's the
Yeah.
thing too. Ryan Reynolds wouldn't, but like then when push comes to shove, no, you're not fucking bringing back Hugh Jackman and giving us garbage.
No,
No, I agree.
Yeah. So, and then two, we got a first look at Zac Efron as a pro wrestler, Kevin Von Erich, in the A24 film. We kind of all, all five of us kind of are in love with A24. I mean, they make great movies, right? We say they don't miss all the time. So, I mean, this movie we're about to talk about stars Zac Efron, who does a pretty great job. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. If you have A24 in there, it's like, what's not to love? So and then the pictures of it, the pictures that have been shown look really cool. So
yeah,
I'm
I
excited.
saw
to see
that
it.
picture today. I didn't even recognize it was Zac Efron until I
Yeah,
read
dude,
the
he looks
caption.
big too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got back
Especially
in that.
after this great movie we're about to talk to.
Yep.
talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah. So let's get into that movie. Like I said earlier, it's the greatest beer run ever. In 1964, John. Oh, was that a beer?
That
It's a
was a
beer.
beer.
No. Sorry, give the synopsis.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna say he did all this over some warm PBRs.
Oh, yeah.
Should have been doing a couple ice cold Bud Lights.
Oh yeah,
Probably
yeah.
would have been cold.
In 1964, John Chicky Donahoe. How'd you say his last name? Cheeky
Donahue.
Donahue. Thank you. Cheeky Donahue leaves New York to track down his army buddies in Vietnam, and they share a few beers with them. But instead is confronted with the horrors of war. This movie currently is sitting at a 42% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, but a 91% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. This is an Apple TV movie. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty split, right? I mean, it's a comedy drama.
Because how close was Severance between critic and fans? Do you remember?
I think it's pretty close. I can look it up.
Yeah, I think they're close.
I think they're pretty close.
And then Ted Lasso, I'm pretty sure was close as well. So, and this is actually the third thing Apple made that I've ever watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than Severance and fucking Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
See, and I'm the opposite.
And a couple episodes of Mythic Quest or whatever the fuck that's called. What's his name? Rob from Always Sunny.
Yeah, Rob McElhenney.
Yeah.
Okay, so Severance has a 97% critic score and a 93% audience score.
Okay, yeah, see, that's close. So, and again, I guess I could see why the critics went this route. We're just gonna jump right into it. It was an ignorant idea, and again, I didn't know much about this movie. Andrew threw it on our list.
It is based off a book too, by the way, which Chicky really wrote in real life. So.
Mm-hmm. And it's fucking sweet. It was a great idea until the fact you're thinking like, bro, you're going to Vietnam.
Actually read it.
And damn, let me borrow that.
Yeah, I read the book. That's what I was like, when I saw this the trailer, I was like, we got to see this.
Yeah, let me borrow that shit when I'm home for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna read that for real.
Okay,
that sounds like a good book. But again, so it starts off, he's like a happy-go-lucky guy. He's with all his friends, and all his friends are in Vietnam. You're seeing the first of its kind of these protests where they're basically calling the president a fucking hack. Because again, you got to remember, you're rolling off World War I and II where it was necessary because the USA was kind of posed like they were being threatened almost by what's going on in the world. Vietnam.
Well, one directly.
Yeah, exactly. And Vietnam, fuck the government that was all a ploy to get in there. I'm gonna be saying that on record because especially what they show later in the movie, like that's accurate. It wasn't our war. We weren't supposed to be there, and you see these protests, and it's so funny when he's knocking over the candles, and he's like, "I just want my friends. Like my friends are over there. Like I care about them." And they're like, dude, we're arguing for your friends to be home. Like, we want your friends home. And he goes, is it one of those peace candles? He goes, what's wrong with peace? And, like, again, that's not a thing. It's like everyone's supposed to be like, oh, they're out fighting the war. They're supposed to be great.
Yeah.
Like, to Donahue's mind, that's how it's supposed to be.
Which is how a lot of people were at the time. The people that were protesting and stuff like that, that was definitely the minority. without a doubt.
Well, those were just the fucking hippies.
Yeah.
And it didn't help that they were smoking weed. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
it's like not the worst thing ever, but in that time, you know,
It
you might
was
as well
seen
shoot a
as
black tar heroin at that point. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
And again, like that scene alone, where it's like people don't even understand what's going on, and it's true. Like, we shouldn't have been there. The USA had no business going over there. They keep
Yeah.
saying that there's a threat. The communism is going to spread. Like, no. Like, not even fucking South Vietnam wanted you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was and I think this movie does a good job of that from the beginning towards the end, where you watch Chicky, like, his opinion change. Like, he's originally this, I'm a patriot,
Yep.
I get it, and then
Standing up for the president when people are calling him a fucking hack.
yeah, and then he
like,
gets back
I don't care what you believe in. Like, that's the president. You show him respect. I laughed out loud at that. You know who our presidents have been, like, since we've been capable to care. Fuck it's such a different time. The
It is.
bootlicking, like what we consider bootlicking now, is just patriarchy.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, in a sense, now it's synonymous. Again, you're able to believe whatever. Like, I support the troops, but like when a situation like Vietnam rolls around, we had no business being there. Kids are dying for no fucking reason.
And that's the thing, that
it's the government's war.
In the movie and in real life, we're going to be doing a lot of that in this review. I feel like going in between real life, because it's
Definitely.
but the people there, they were they're protesting, like you said, Brian, for the soldiers still. Like, like they want them to come home. It's not like they were like, fuck the soldiers. They were like, no, bring them home.
Yeah, they were protesting because LBJ was fucking lying. And can I jump to that, or is that too far of a jump?
Nah, jump.
Because that scene was so fucking powerful. So what it comes down to is we get to see, I forget the city name, but I do remember learning about it in Bannock's class.
Saigon.
Yeah,
I maybe
I forget how you pronounce it, but I remember hearing about the New Year's Eve attack where they thought there was a hold, but no, it's just they ran out of fucking bullets. There wasn't a ceasefire. Like, no, like they were just stocking up again. And then they went and attacked on New Year's. And Chicky happens to be in the mix of all this. And what you see, and it doesn't come to light until like 10 minutes later, but it's when Chicky's on the street and he's sitting there with his buddy Oklahoma that he had just met like 10 minutes prior in the movie. And you see the fucking tank roll up and shoot the embassy wall. Viet Cong doesn't have tanks, okay?
Nope.
And you think maybe they're shooting at it because the Viet Cong got in there and that's what they're doing. You come to find out, like 10-15 minutes later in the film, that they're reporting that was an ambush, that the Viet Cong had blown up the wall. And that's when you could really tell everything was clicking with Chicky. Like, obviously it clicked with when he went to go visit his second friend, and his second friend was like, what the fuck are you doing here? We're in Vietnam. He's like, I just want to give you a beer. But in that scene after the tank hits the wall, they're saying the Viet Cong did it, and Chicky's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I was here. Like, the US shot that wall and drove away.
I watched it.
And they're like, that's not what they're reporting. That's not what they're going with. And again, that, to bring it to real life, is what was happening. There was so much fucked up shit going on over there. The government didn't want to admit to a loss, and they're just saying, oh, we're winning. And this is the war they consider that never ended, right? Like,
this is the first one where it's like, we lost. Like,
and exactly, and that's why they say the war that never ended, because they won't admit to losing, and they had to pull out.
Yep.
And
and that was a catastrophe too.
Yeah, and again though too, you got to remember, in real life, this is the first time we're getting live footage. We're getting live footage of people that were burned almost to death.
Yeah, they touch on that in the movie.
You're getting people assassinated on camera. Like, you're watching all this fucking terrible stuff happen. But at the same time, the U.S. is going to sit there and lie and be like, no, what are you talking about? Like, we're winning this war. I think we're going to have this wrapped up in the boys' home in 2 months. That's a lie. 6 months goes by, fucking another 100,000 soldiers are dead. Like, fuck, dude. And again, that's a big thing that irked me about this movie, but which makes it a great movie, that it actually had me upset. was that they were showing these things, and it's like,
Yeah, I think
fuck, this needs to
making
be
this
talked
movie
about.
rated R was a good call.
Yes,
It
it
allowed it to
really
be
was.
more raw and
Mhm.
natural, and it helped bit. If this would have been a PG-13 movie, this would have felt, because the whole fucking idea is a comedy basically,
Yeah,
but
and
it's
see, that's
crazy
the
that it's
thing.
real. And it's, but I mean, the idea that you're fucking getting on a boat to go get your boys beers in the middle of a war is funny in itself. So I feel like making this rated R helped balance out between this being funny but this being real, because
Mhm.
both, it is real and it does happen to be fucking goofy. You wouldn't catch me hopping on a boat to go bring you boys beers.
That's kind of fucked up because I would do that for you boys.
Maybe, I don't know. I'd bring a cooler, so a koozie, so you'd have some cold
Right.
brews.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for that. But again, that was another thing that was fucking wild about this movie is like this obviously came as a recommendation from Andrew. I didn't know anything about it. And I generally thought it was just gonna be a happy go lucky film. Like he was gonna get in, he was gonna see some shit, maybe change his mind, and then get the fuck out. I
Yeah.
did not expect the turn that it took. And like I said, the turn really starts with when he goes to visit his second friend, and I'm terrible with names. Um,
I don't remember their names off the top of my
but
head.
but when he went to go see his first friend and they were having a great time, they were partying, hanging out, and that's because again they were on base.
They were on base,
He
yeah.
goes to see his second guy, his second friend, and he's like actually like fighting, like holding it down, like they're dug in
Isn't it like
trenches.
Pappas or something?
No,
Something
that's
like
the last
is
friend.
that the
Oh, is that the
last
last
one?
one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Dugan too, isn't Dugan, or is that the first
That
one?
was Dugan. That was Dugan.
Okay.
Um, and so Dugan, he goes, "Oh, call him over here." And like, so a big part we're leaving out is the U.S. military believed that Chicky was the CIA,
Which
Any
was
credentials
very
and
funny.
shown?
and it was really funny, and he was just milking it, and that's why I thought it was gonna be a happy-go-lucky film. Like he was actually gonna get around. Like I thought they were gonna like airdrop beers, like a care package or some shit. Um,
I do like that aspect, because that is true. I hope that they have them show credentials nowadays, but like that the CIA, like back then, was just like this like covert group that, like, if they were there and you thought they were there, you just didn't say anything,
mhm.
because that's how they were.
Oh
The
yeah.
military was afraid that that was a D rank or anything. Like the CIA was
Mhm.
the secret top dog.
Yeah.
So if one of their guys was there, you just did what they needed and shut the fuck up,
Mhm.
basically.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But so anyway, so you cut to Dugan, and when he's there, he like well before they even get Dugan to come, because again he's in the trenches and he's shooting at the enemy line and
Yeah.
like where they're at. And Chicky shows up and he's talking to his sergeant and he's like, "Oh, get him in here." And he goes, "Right now?" And he goes, "Yeah, right now." And they're over the comm, and Dugan's like, "Dude, like we're under fire." And this is when I realized the movie wasn't happy go lucky because Dugan is running back to where Chicky's at and literally just getting shot at the whole time. And I genuinely thought he was gonna get shot right there. Like I thought
Yeah, and
he
he
was
gets
gonna
in there
kill her.
and
Chicky was gonna kill a friend technically.
yeah,
And
and
he gets in there and he goes to hand him the beers and he freaks the fuck out. Like, what the
yeah.
fuck are you doing here? And the sergeant's like, wait, he's not CIA? Like he goes, I know him from home. And then from there, Chicky like obviously gets a taste of Vietnam because the sergeant goes, "Hey, dude, this is your fucking problem now. Like, this is
Yeah,
your
good
guy.
luck.
You're responsible for him." And that's when you see Chicky.
Dugan.
You
Oh.
see Chicky actually running with Dugan. He's given a helmet, not even a vest, and they wouldn't even give him a gun. And he has to just keep running with Dugan from fucking different trenches, like dugout trenches to a different trench. And the scene though, when they do finally get to drink the beer, it's like it was heartwarming because Dugan's just like fuck, like this is fucking stupid. Like this is the dumbest thing anyone could have ever fucking done. But
Yeah,
also, that's my fucking boy. Like he came
yeah.
all the way here to give me a beer.
It makes
Like
no sense.
no, it makes no sense. And that was like one of the most powerful scenes I feel like. And then obviously that whole thing that happens with the fucking tank that I was talking about earlier, that one really got me. Russell Crowe's character was fucking great.
Dude, Oklahoma laying in the street fucking broke me.
Uh,
What about
I like when the sergeant, to piggyback off what you were saying there, Brian, when they're like leaving and he's like, don't worry about him. Some people are just too dumb to die.
He goes every now and then. He goes every once in a while. Like he made it sound like something where it's like 1 in 1 million. He goes,
yeah,
you're gonna meet someone that is just too stupid to die.
yeah.
And that's literally Chicky throughout the whole film. Because another scene that tripped me, bro, when he's in the helicopter, they start interrogating the guy, and then they just throw him out of the helicopter. And again, that's another thing. This movie didn't have to do that, but they were shining light on so much shit. Like
they
that's
were,
why
Apple did a good job.
JFK prior to that was just like, fuck the CIA, and the CIA might have a big hand in JFK getting his head blown off.
Brian, maybe quiet down. There might be a laser on the back of your head.
Hey, what the?
Yeah, I don't know. Just to kind of say it, I mean, I this movie does like play it off at first like a comedy. That's what I thought it would be. I knew nothing about this movie before going in. Like I hadn't seen a trailer or anything. I only knew it was based off a true story, and the ending too. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but like when they showed the picture that they all took of them drinking the beer and compared to what the real picture was, dude, it was like
fuck.
Yeah, I was like, that's really cool. I mean, that's really fucking cool that the way they were able to do that. And I wonder, Andrew, you read the book, how accurate is it from the book to what they did on the screen? I mean,
so it is a pretty, they leave out some stuff because that's how it is, but honestly, this is a pretty good interpretation of the book, in my opinion. It's pretty damn close.
Nice.
I would say it seems like it's more comedic than the book, but that could just be because it's a movie. But no, I'd say it's fairly accurate, and it's a crazy story. Actually, my dad gave me that book a while ago and was like, just read this, it's like a crazy story.
Papa Bells.
Which is not normally I'm not normally like
all those books back there, how many of those have you actually read?
Everything except the like center shelf up there.
Those look like textbooks almost.
No, those are just bigger books that I never got around to. But everything else, like the other 4 shelves, have all been read. That middle one's always the to be read, and then I pick them off.
What does that one back there say? How to make bombs for dummies?
Yeah,
the 10K for dummies.
I got that one. I borrowed that one actually from your brother.
Oh, okay. All right, you guys can make your bombs. I guess I'm not really involved in that.
He gave me another one, How to Escape from Prison, just in case.
Oh wow! Okay.
It was actually just a copy of the movie Shawshank Redemption.
But no.
And I didn't know too. I didn't know till after movie was done. I didn't know that this was a book written by Chicky himself, so I thought that was really cool too. I mean, I'm sure he had a big hand in the behind the scenes, kind of helping with the movie. Yeah.
I thought Zac Efron did a pretty good job. I don't know who had cast for this movie, but honestly, I was like, oh yeah, he did a good job.
I mean, if you have Zac Efron playing you, did something right.
Well, Ted Bundy.
Well, I guess that's true. I guess besides him, of course. Everyone else though has done something right.
And then who else was the bigger actors in here? Russell Crowe,
Bill Murray. I didn't know it was Bill Murray till Bill Murray opens his mouth.
That was it was.
Yeah, once he opened his mouth, I'm like, holy shit, that's Bill Murray.
I thought that was him, but I wasn't for sure.
Yeah, because he didn't really change his voice too much. Like Zac Efron does have like an accent in this movie,
which maybe
it takes a little getting used to.
Yeah, I was literally just sitting at work yesterday. So I guess I've been saying I watched this yesterday. I watched it Sunday. I sat at work yesterday and someone said something in an accent, and I was like, "What movie did I just watch where everyone had shitty New York accents?"
It's like from the Bronx.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, it was fucking The Greatest Beer Run."
Yeah, the accent wasn't that great,
but it was funny though. I will say, like, you could tell they were trying their best. Just fucking speak normal.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense for the movie and the time that they're in,
especially the time that they were in.
Yeah, they kind of have that kind of sort of accent, right? The one from the
Mhm.
Bronx or whatever.
I liked
Yeah.
how in the beginning he was saying his life was hard and his it's like dad or stepdad was getting on him for like you don't
Sleeping until 3.
you don't do jack shit basically. You just go
To be
drink with your
fair
buddies.
though, to be fair though, I've had that conversation with my mom when I was home for 2 weeks during college years. When I'd
Uh-huh.
come home for Christmas time and I'd just be hanging out with you guys and everyone else. I was like, "Are you gonna fucking do anything?" And be like, "Dude, I just got done with like one of the hardest semesters I've ever had. Like, I'm gonna chill for 2 weeks. I'm gonna work at Honey Bake part time, but other than that, yeah, I'm going out and drinking, and I'm just sleeping until 2 p.m. because I can."
Can yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm basically a teacher.
Basically.
Um, um, yeah, and then too, I kind of like when he's actually there, right? And he's in that city, and he's in that bar, and that's where he meets like Russell Crowe's character and
And
the
the
other
other,
journalists and
yeah.
stuff. And I like how the bartender, or I don't think it was bartender, I think it was Russell Crowe's character. He's like, they can get a beer here.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it literally cuts, and the guy's got a Budweiser at the end of the
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
bar.
He's like,
And he
"What?"
goes, "But these are from back home."
Yeah.
yeah, these are American beers. Yeah, I mean too. I mean, it really wasn't about the beer, right? It was like just seeing a friendly face and knowing that
He even
your friends
says
at
that
home care
and,
in the
about
and
movie
you.
though
there
too.
was
Yeah,
that one powerful ass scene. I forget. It might have been Dugan's character, or it might have been the other friend that he visited next. Where he goes, "Here's the beer," and he's like, "Is this supposed to fucking make up for it?
yeah,
Like what?" And he goes, "Just wanted you to know that we're thinking about you." And it's just like, at a certain point, I think Chicky like realized that he was really just doing that for him.
yeah.
Yeah.
To give his life meaning, he probably felt bad,
Yeah, and plus,
especially
like
too with his
everyone
buddy
kept
Tommy,
saying
right?
that he fucking wasn't gonna. Oh, dude, the Tommy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
That
okay, so let's get
fucked.
into that really quick. So he blames himself for his buddy Tommy going missing and dying, right? So
And you
I think that's
gotta
the whole factor
imagine,
behind this
though.
movie.
You gotta imagine though in that setup, because the setup is so we see it in a flashback. We see it in a flashback, and at this point, you're probably like little over the halfway point when you do see it. All you
Yeah,
know is that Tommy's one of his best friends. His mom gave Chicky a rosary because she's like, "You're gonna go see my boy," which is
Yeah.
also another thing where it's like Chicky realized he wasn't like he was doing this selfishly because people were like, "Oh, you're not gonna do it," but then at that point selfishly because he's like, "Oh, I have these things for my friends that I have to go give them,"
Yeah.
and so that's what Tommy's mom gives him, and so you get the flashback, and that flashback, it's like and towards the end is like he's crying to Tommy's mom, and Tommy's mom like gives him a hug, like for closure's sake. And maybe even at that point she does fucking blame him. But at the same time, granted, I've never been drunk and talked someone going into war, but I
yeah,
have been drunk, been like, "Hey bro, like take that job. If it fucking sucks, quit."
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but like too, and it shows the character development, right? Like he finally comes home and he sees his friends at the bar and this bar that he loves, and
Mm-hmm.
he's even being offered free beers and stuff like that to come sit down and drink with them and tell them everything
Because
that
it's like,
happened. And
I'll be
and
back.
instead of that, yeah, he goes off to go have this really hard conversation with Tommy's mom
Mm-hmm.
because that's the right thing to do.
And then Tommy's mom, like when he tries to give it back, bro, and Tommy's mom just goes, "Tommy would have wanted you to have this." And
Yeah.
and the thing about Tommy that we are leaving out, and I don't want to leave it out because it's very important, and I feel like this is another reason why he wanted to go over there. Tommy's MIA.
Yeah, missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy, they have no fucking clue where he's at,
Where's that?
and Chicky, literally do you guys remember the first friend's name? I forget his name. Um,
Let's see
but
here.
but when he goes to visit the first
I
friend,
don't
so
remember off the
they
top of my
they
head.
like kind of talk about it, and nothing's confirmed at this point. And you're just like, he's just like, "Oh, like it's Tommy, like he's fine, like we're good. I'm gonna see him again. He's probably just out there." And then it gets to Dugan, and he basically has the same talk. Like he's like, "Come on, Dugan, it's fucking Tommy. Like we know he's fine. Like he's a tough guy. Like everything's good." And Dugan basically knows. Like, granted, it hasn't been confirmed, but like Dugan knows that if someone's gone that long since he's been there, no one is coming back from that. Like
Yeah.
either got took hostage or fell into a fucking trap and now they're dead. And And then I think it was finally when he met up with that random guy that wasn't even his friend that he just knew from the streets of New York. That was like, dude, like, what are you talking about? Like Tommy's gone. Like they know it as fact now. Like they found him. Like he's dead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that one fucking hit, dude. And you could tell the hurt in Chicky's eyes, dude. And again, Zac Efron, hell of a fucking actor, dude.
Yeah, he did a
Yeah.
damn good job.
I always forget that this motherfucker got his jump from High School Musical.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it leads into that whole thing where he skips the bar with his fucking friends, and he's like, instead, I'm gonna go have this depressing ass conversation because I basically killed my friend.
Yeah, I mean, would you believe at the beginning of the movie, Chicky would have taken the opportunity, right, to drink with his friends and everything
Right.
first, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, he decides that it's the right thing to do is go have this tough conversation with his mom, and that's the first thing he says when she opens the door is like, "Hey, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get it to him." So it really was heartbreaking, and I think that's kind of his whole motivation to go over there is because he feels guilty. You kind of really don't know why he came up with the idea to go over there for those beers. Really, I mean, the real idea.
I think
that
it's like
flashback.
a mix. I think
It's a mix. But once I saw that flashback of him, Tommy, and
Yeah,
him telling Tommy, like, yeah, you should do it. That in my head was like, okay, that's what pushed him to go there.
pushed him
Because
I
Tommy
think,
went MIA and everything
Yeah.
like that. It pushed him to go and see if he could find Tommy himself. He wanted to find his friends to give them the beers. He wants to
yeah.
find Tommy himself. That's what the movie led me to believe.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it was also you're led on to believe that Chicky is kind of an idiot too.
Yes.
So part of it is also
Very
like,
charismatic too.
yeah, like he is literally just going to give them beers, but there is like he has this deeper meaning that you don't like you just said, Josh, you don't know that at the beginning though.
No.
No.
And because again, Tommy is pronounced as missing before he leaves, correct? Like, okay,
Yes.
that's what I thought.
Yes.
And so then, and then it totally is that underlining reason why he wants to go.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he's at the funeral and then he gets told that Tommy's MIA and then they go to the bar and that night he comes up with the idea to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why, and then with the flashback, I mean, he's just sitting there laughing, watching the TV, and you can tell Tommy's really nervous. Like he's shitting bricks. He's not sure if he wants to go.
Yeah,
and honestly, maybe
am I doing the right thing? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
"Of course
his
you're doing the
best
right thing. You're
friend
going for your
/
country."
brother, basically is like telling him, yeah, you should go. You should do it. You'd be a hero, a
Yeah.
patriot.
Like I'm gonna say it like, well, because anyone that's been on Small Guys, I would never, if you fucks were like, oh, I'm thinking about joining the military. If it wasn't to do like a non-combat thing where it was gonna
I'm like, I'm joining the Coast Guard.
Yeah, like if you want to do that to fast track, sure. Unless there was times of like war, like if you would have said that before the fucking what is it, the Russia and Ukraine shit popped off, like I would be like, nah.
But a lot of those guys didn't even get the choice. I mean, remember when they're sitting in the bunker? He's like, "You chose to be here." Yeah, he's like, "You chose to be here." So I don't know, but
and Chicky's thing for not getting drafted, even though like technically it was military, I'm assuming that's when they had the things about like the drafting laws where it's like, okay, we can't take Chicky because Chicky's the only male like son for this family. Like he has to carry on the name, you know. And like they're not taking women at this time at all.
Yeah. Well, technically too, he served right in the military or whatever.
Yeah.
Technically, so I think he's at too under his belt. So.
Yeah, I like that little comedic moment too when he's in that bunker and he's like, "Oh, where'd you serve?" He's going to give him the gun and he's like, "Where'd you serve?" Massachusetts.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take that. You're not getting a gun.
Yeah, that was funny.
That sergeant was funny as fuck. What's that actor's name?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it was his comedic timing was really funny too because Cheeky wants to hide under that like blanket thing, right, and surprise his friend, and he's like, "Okay, now you cover me up with this," and he goes, "No."
Yeah,
it's just really funny.
He
like,
just covers himself.
No. Yeah,
because again, I don't think he realizes the shooting he heard. I don't know if he thought it was target practice or what. Like,
because like it kept panning to him hiding
there,
and then that.
Because what was nuts too was I forget the exact wording that they used, but they were like, all right, light it up when it's nighttime, and they're not burning it, but like they're dropping flash grenades now so they can see. And then you see all the heads and the fucking they just start ripping. And it's like, dude, holy fuck. Yeah. And again, that was another one with them poking up. I totally expected to see like a headshot. And where Chicky would be like, did I fucking cause this? Like I'm a civilian here, just trying to bring beers to my friend like a dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought maybe his friend would, or the guy when it was raining and he was like kind of watching.
Yes.
I thought maybe it happened there too.
Yeah.
I was expecting it. Fine, and
Which
then
also fucking portrayed it really well was when he was in that little trench and
Yeah.
his beer cracks and he freaks the fuck out. And Dugan's like, dude, it's just one of your beers popped. Like, you're good.
Yeah.
And again, that's a good friend. Like, fuck, that's one of my biggest fears is like if we were to ever get drafted, I'd shoot myself in the foot. Fuck that. But like, that's where Dugan's just like, dude, like, fuck, like this is my guy. Like granted, I am super fucking pissed, but this is my guy. I'm going to look out for him. He's getting the fuck out of here. Like, I don't care. Because I almost feel like if it came down to it, which would have been fucking insane, like Dugan would have risked one of his army buddies to save fucking Chicky.
Mhm.
Is what I think would have happened there. Or like, and again, I almost thought Dugan would have sacrificed himself for Chicky to be able to run away and get safe.
No, and I just want to say too, just to jump to the end again really quick.
Do it.
I love that they're all still friends and are communicating.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was
I love that. They
Now,
all made it home.
do we think that they're actually friends, or do they all realize the publicity
They got
behind
them all in the
it?
picture. I'm just happy, I guess, to say that they all made it home.
Yeah, that was a great thing. And again, with talk too fast.
Wow,
that was bad.
Word salad there, buddy.
The fact that they were able to give us those updates was fucking sweet.
That was cool.
The fact that these guys did come back and like he didn't have to relive the whole Tommy situation over again. Now, what's probably unspoken though, and maybe they touch on it in the book, like obviously he went to go see, I think he set out he had 5 friends, or was it 4 friends that he was going to see? And that's who he wanted to take beer to. But I gotta imagine, like, because again, he ran into some random guy that he knew from like the streets, like around from his like neighborhood, and he wasn't even planning on going to see him. And so you gotta imagine there's probably other fucking people that they knew that died, like
probably,
out there. Like 100%. Like I
he
honestly
told,
put it at 100% that other people that they knew just fucking ended up dying out there.
Well, he told Russell Crowe when he was talking to him, like, you have no clue how many friends and stuff I've lost. And then he goes, well, you know, the names behind the bar there, that's all the press friends that we had.
That was a powerful ass scene too.
Yeah,
that was.
So,
and again,
it really showed that everyone's losing
like
people.
Trying to push the accurate story, because that was a good thing too. Like when they were in the bar and they're talking about winning and stuff, and even like the bald press reporter was just like, dude, like they're lying, like we're not winning, like they say.
Yeah, what was he, British or something?
Yeah, something like that. And that's the thing too, he's a Brit, so like it's not going to be as accurate to the Americans, because they're like, oh, it's a British guy. Like, fuck you, like he's a journalist, his job is to tell the story.
Yeah. Well, and that's their whole thing, right? Is politicians are the ones that got us into this war for their agendas and stuff like that. And
I mean, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, it was a war that we really had no business in being a part of. And, you know, I mean, that's one of the big things that we know about this war, is that like we did in fact lose and pretty badly, honestly. I mean, we went into their territory.
We're still in it.
Yeah, so I don't know. It was kind of a bunch of things like that where it's like, you know, the press is trying to tell you one thing, but the president of the United States is telling you the other. Who do you really believe? This isn't really a time where, like, we saw, when Russia was invading Ukraine, we saw like TikToks and shit like that of what was going on over there.
Yeah, now it's very transparent.
We got that fucking. This is very sidetracked now that you brought that up. Do you remember that fucking video of the Russian soldier that was around all the Ukraines, and it was like a literal, like, I don't even think the kid was 18, and he was like crying, and they fucking, like, the Ukrainians, he like gave him a phone so he could call his mom, and was just like, I'm alive, like I don't want to fucking be here. And imagine just like what the shit we would have got if this happened now. And I mean, granted, it might be the equivalent to that, but again, we're so fucking ignorant because we're not seeing it all.
It's a lot more transparent now, so it's a lot harder to hide up some bullshit.
Again,
I don't think they would have been able to get away with as much as they did.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, algorithms are fucking nuts. They can let you post it; it might get some traction, but like to us, we won't see it on our feed because
but
they
too,
don't
Brian,
want
like
us
they
to.
were completely blind. They thought that we were like winning that war with ease. Like they
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Okay,
You know what I mean?
that's. I mean, that's
I feel
fair.
like to an
100%.
extent they would know
Yeah,
a little bit more
yeah,
than like
yeah,
what
Where
they
like
knew.
from the get go, we knew that Ukraine
And-
has been like a woo
yeah.
who's
And you know what's nuts too? The scene we didn't talk about, which was another big turning point for Chicky's character, um, was the little girl when he's walking down the street, and he's actually like he's where he belongs. You know, he's just in Vietnam.
yeah, that was actually a
And he
powerful
sees
scene.
that girl, and that little baby starts crying. And again, you know, at first you think, okay, it's a child. She's just startled. She doesn't recognize this man. But even the mom runs out, looks at fucking Chicky, looks at the child, takes the child, and just takes off running.
Yeah,
Nobody wanted the U.S. soldiers there, dude. They just made everything worse off. They
Well, that's the thing,
fucking
too.
burned
They say,
down
like-
so much land.
Yeah, like they say, like at the bar too, when he's talking to the press or whatever, and they're talking about maybe they're just running away from the bombs. They're not really running away from a certain group of people.
Mhm.
You know, it just goes to show you, like, you don't really have to take sides. You just don't want to be involved, and that's kind of where
you
they're
just don't
at.
want to. You don't want to get blown up.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not on Team America or Team, whatever. It like does not matter. We're not on a certain team or pushing a certain agenda. We're just trying to survive. We don't want to get blown up. Like literally, it's just that plain and simple. Regardless of where they come from or what they believe in, they're just trying to survive. They don't want to get blown up. So,
Right.
That would not
Yeah,
getting
so-
blown up is a valid reason.
exactly, yeah. So, I thought that part was pretty powerful too. So there's a lot of powerful scenes, and too, I mentioned it earlier, but the character growth from Cheeky himself is like
Chicky.
pretty incredible. Yeah, I mean,
Chicky.
it's pretty cheeky how much his character changes. But yeah, I mean,
Now, can we
And-
talk about the fact they had Zac Efron and he wasn't just raw dogging girls in this?
I know there's no topless scene, and I was like, if Aiden watched this, he'd be really upset.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
rated R. Yeah, Mikey.
Yeah, it's rated R.
Mikey and fucking Aiden were like, it's rated R. I gotta ask my parents. and
Yeah,
they
that's why
never
they couldn't
got
be on
back.
this
They could
episode.
watch it. Yeah,
They didn't get their permission slip signed, so they couldn't be on this one.
yeah. Well, do you guys
Uh,
want to kind of get into reviewing this, get into a rating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian, you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start stuff. So like I said, I went into this movie, didn't know much. It was a recommendation from Andrew. But with that being said, I did like the idea of it. You know, me personally, I'm a big beer drinker, love it.
I figured this wouldn't be a hard sell.
Exactly. Andrew's like, you could drink on this pod, and I was like, I drink on most of them, but all right. But no, back to being serious. I didn't expect it because again, the movie does start off as a comedy, and then you get into it. The evolution of Chicky's character is fucking crazy, and that's why I'm actually really excited to read this book. So when I get back for Thanksgiving, Andrew, please let
I
me
will hand it
borrow
off
that.
to you. Yes,
Thank you. I'll get it back to you by Christmas time.
that works.
All right. But so when it starts picking up, you know, and like I said, you really see it because of Dugan, and that's when you're like, oh, dude, they were actually in the shits. And then all these powerful scenes kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and it just fucking it blew my mind because I didn't think they were gonna touch on these topics. Like I
Yeah.
read up on the idea of the U.S. hiding the media's true story and them fucking. Well, not even like really had to read up about it. We were taught about it at this point in
Yeah.
like what 10th grade. Was that U.S.
10th
history?
10th grade U.S.
Yeah,
history,
yeah. So 10th grade, fucking at this point, almost 10 years ago for us. You hear about it now, but fuck, at the time, nobody had any fucking clue. And then on top of that, you fucking get to see the shit about the CIA. Did not expect them to touch on that. Really didn't expect.
Yeah,
them to
that was
touch on
bold.
that.
Apple doesn't care.
That again, that was another one where I actually did have to read up on that. Fucking Bannock's not going to teach us that.
Yeah.
And so that was fucking nuts. So for a movie to have you thinking it's going to be this happy-go-lucky film, he's going to airdrop some beers to his boys, and then becoming this fucking basically almost like a statement about what the fuck actually happened there. And it's really good because I feel like a lot of people fucking forget about that in like the Korean War, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that people still care and that they could do it like tastefully, you know. It's not like they were in your face, like here's the lies of Vietnam. Like,
Yeah.
no, here's the eyes of Chicky who actually went fucking there as a civilian.
I think
and
this is the
saw it
perfect
firsthand.
film for the honestly, this is maybe I don't know if it's educational, but like a fun watch if you're learning about. Well, like I could see you throwing this into the curriculum.
If you're learning about the
Like
Vietnam War.
fuck, let's tell
Yeah.
Nick Pell about it. If he's actually doing U.S. history, like maybe he could use some shit from
Maybe
it.
he'll learn a
dude.
thing or two.
No, I don't think this is a movie you learn too much from.
No,
but
no.
you could
But you
toss
can
it
play
into the
clips from it.
yeah.
You know, and especially with like younger kids, there's Zac Efron. We're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'll learn for real now. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's good for that. I agree. And again, all I saw was the critic score. I never saw the fucking like actual like viewer score for it. And I was like, all right, I don't really expect much from it. And I even texted in chat. I was like, anyone watch Grease Beer Run yet? And they were like, no. And
It's
I,
literally
I,
a 50
I
point
just
difference.
finished it, and
Yeah.
they're like, well, what did you think? And I go, way better than what I expected. Or not even way better. I just go better than I expected.
Yeah.
And so not to like keep going on with it, but I think the only reasonable thing I can go with this movie, I'm shooting towards the average viewer with my score. I'm gonna give this movie a solid fucking 88. I don't think it was
Nice.
the perfect 90. I thought at certain points it dragged, but if they would have cut it a little better, it wouldn't have dragged the way that where I felt it was too long, you know. But again, everything was tasteful in this. It's not in your face. It's not anti-army. It's not anti-anything. It's just telling you what the fuck happened from the eyes of Chicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we find out Chicky's a fucking liar. Sure, then fuck this movie. But for now, we know that it's fact. He wrote the book. He didn't get killed at this point.
Yeah.
And so like maybe he was lying. Maybe he sugarcoated what the fuck.
When he has
happened.
all those guys too, his friends that can corroborate his story as to
Exactly.
what happened when he encountered
and,
them.
and these
so.
are like real vets. And again, I do want on record. It may sound like I'm shitting on U.S. military and shit like that. I
It really
get it.
does. This episode.
Go get your fucking bag. I get it. But when it comes to wars like that, it's the government's fault. It's not your fault for enlisting. Fuck that. And this is me, Brian Pavish, signing off as patriot.
It's all conspiracy theory.
Vietnam never. It's not even a real place.
Green screens.
It's just like the goddamn moon landing.
No, I think it's a fair score. Honestly, I for me, like, character development is a big thing, right? And like this movie showed someone at the beginning of the movie who, you know, has parents or grandparents that served and friends and people he knows in his neighborhood and stuff like that, clearly, who have served or who are serving, and he has these point of views and these beliefs, where maybe his like sister has different beliefs, and he's almost stubborn in his ways of what he thinks is happening and what he thinks is right and everything like that, and then he says that he's going to do something and actually does it. He doesn't like chicken out of it, and actually does it. And he goes over there, and you could tell, I mean, after every friend he visits, everything, you know, he slightly just begins to change and see what things are really like and what his friends have to go through, and what, you know, it makes him maybe grow up a little bit more and take some responsibility in what he thinks is happening, and, you know, everything like that. So I liked how at the end of the movie he was almost kind of a different person in a way from what he was before. He seemed like his eyes were completely open to things, and I really liked that a lot. So you kind of went and grew with Cheeky throughout this film, which I like. That's like one of my favorite things when movies do that. So it hit on the comedy really well. The drama was really well too. I mean, like those explosions and everything like that. I like Brian said earlier, I kept thinking one of his friends or someone he was talking to would just get popped right in the head or something crazy like that. But it did happen the one time. Those two soldiers are telling them, you know, don't go to the embassy, get your asses out of here, and then they're going to the car and it blows up.
Dude, I forgot about that.
go.
The guy fucking walks, dude. He's missing the arm, and they literally, all the other people could do that were capable of doing anything, just fucking put their arms around him, and like I almost could guarantee that motherfucker just went off to die. Like, you're not saving him. Like, motherfucker looked like Anakin left in Mustafar. Like, what?
Yeah, it's like when Gus flew up and walks out of the room.
Wild, dude. That is real fucking life. Like, this shit happened. People saw it.
Well, like, too, you see, like, the elephants in the movie, and they're, like, they have burns all over them and all that shit from the napalm strikes, and it's insane. So it's, like, too, it's to see, you know, from the press's point of view and from, you know, from Chicky's point of view, and the guy's so charismatic, he's making friends, he's able to get these rides and these this ways to travel throughout Vietnam and get back home and everything like that. But like he meets Oklahoma, right? Who we see a couple times in the movie, and two, they even become friends where he shares his address with them and his phone number so they can reach
He
out.
literally told me to like. He said to like hit him up when he gets to America, and
Yeah.
he goes, "I'll call you first," and he goes, "Okay."
Yeah, and then too, like you see the picture of him and these guys like drinking a beer and they have smiles on their faces, and so this movie really hits on those heartwarming like scenes and those really scary scenes, where they're sitting in the trenches and it's pouring rain and they could die at any minute. So I do really like this movie a lot. Like Brian said, maybe it drags a little bit, but like Apple TV is on top of shit. I mean, I know they're raising their prices, but like they're not really making anything bad. They're making really good movies. Coda's another really good movie. Brian, you should definitely watch that.
Okay.
I don't know if you're
because I was
paying for
gonna
Apple
say for
TV
now
or
it's
not.
3 for 3. Yeah, I fucking quit cancel or forget to cancel it. So I got it.
Definitely
So
watch Coda. Yeah, that's a good movie. I think it was like best movie last year. I think it won or something
Yeah.
like that. I won a bunch of
Coda.
Yeah, Coda. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because it won Parasite then Coda, I think.
Okay.
It did. Yep.
For the Oscars. Yeah, so
I'm
both
almost
of those movies
positive.
are great. Yeah, so but yeah, so I'm gonna give this movie an 86. I really like this movie a lot. And I would rewatch it too, and I'd recommend people to watch it.
Especially I'm gonna rewatch it, especially after what you said. It's like the progression, like the flashback. Like, yeah, you can make that connection right there. But like, I almost want to see like if there's like hurt in his eyes, which there is when he comes back from that first funeral, and then that's when he goes to the protest and fucks everything up and starts causing a scene. But also, it's like he's a guy grieving. Like one of his friends fucking died. Like this isn't like a friend, like it'd be like if one of us from the Tom Clancy chat fucking died. Like it was like that type of closeness,
Well, yeah, and then too, like we said earlier, that the accent Zac Efron does, like, at first it's pretty noticeable, right? But like it makes sense for the character and eventually you get over it. So I mean, they have things like that too, but it's like, this movie's still a great movie, and especially for a movie that's based off a true story and a book, right? So
yeah,
right to it. So
all right, well, I'll finish this off. I did disclaimer. Like they said, I recommended this one because I read the book. And I didn't even know they were making a movie until I saw a trailer drop. I don't know, on YouTube or something. I'm kind of I've become an Apple fanboy though. I'm probably one of the very few people that like watches the stuff on Apple TV streaming. Like I'm one of the 6 individuals out of all their subscribers that are keeping them alive. And as I see things, I tend to recommend them. But I mean, I'd say I'm on kind of a streak here. Severance. I think I said Coda. This, like, Apple is kind of doing a pretty good job. So,
not to mention Andrew is first in line to get the new iPhone every fucking year. He somehow finds a way to break his phone. He's like, well, I guess I got to get the new one.
Yeah, that's true. But so I did recommend this one. I read the book about a year ago. I think my dad gave it to me, and that's normally not something that I read. Like, I'm not it's just not my cup of tea. Military, like, that's just not where I
expected it to be heavy bootlicking, which is I was very happy that it wasn't propaganda film.
The movie or the book wasn't, so I knew that it wasn't. Although
that makes me think Chicky saw some even more shit that he didn't want to see.
But this movie does a really good job of keeping that, like I said earlier in this review, keeping a serious tone, but also the comedic relief. With it being rated R, you get to see the serious side of war.
Yep.
But the whole premise of the movie, this guy's going overseas to give his boys beers, like, that's goofy. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there's an underlying meaning behind it, but
that's basically like me driving 2.5 hours to like give beers with you guys.
Pretty much, yeah. But I really like
the same thing.
What Josh said. You do really get to see Chicky's like progression as a character in this movie. That's one thing that's like really good that you don't see as often in movies today. Like, you literally watch him go from I'm a diehard patriot to, wait a minute, maybe some of this a little bit fishy.
Maybe the government is lying.
I liked how they thought he was CIA. I thought that was kind of funny, a little bit goofy. But overall, no, this is a good movie. Like I said, I'm biased because I don't know, an Apple fanboy somehow.
I feel like you're not biased though, because you're still capable of calling a movie bad.
Yeah, that's true. And also, they just happen to be putting out. I haven't watched everything.
The boxes of iPhone boxes right behind you, like you have all those boxes, right?
I can't.
You can kind of see it there.
Big fanboy.
Yeah.
But with that said, I'm giving it the same score as I gave Knives Out. Actually, I'm going with an 89.
Nice.
So kind of right in line with you guys.
Mhm.
One thing that I will say is this movie, it's really the coloring. That's really specific to think about, but
Mhm.
the coloring in this movie is really, really, really good. I noticed
All
that.
those
I don't know.
helicopter shots
I'm
were
glad
beautiful.
you brought that up. Well, color wise though, just think about what the fuck Chicky was wearing the whole time. You
Yeah,
know, and the contrast of war and Chicky's there with like a fucking like almost a Hawaiian shirt.
Looks like he's going
Like,
golfing or
yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's another thing too, which is funny, which you bring up when the CIA guys in the helicopter throws him out. Like the guy is damn near dressed like Zac Efron is in
yeah.
the movie, and
He's
it's
in
just like,
jeans
oh
and a
fuck,
shirt.
yeah, he's in the jeans and polo.
Yeah.
But no, I was a fan of this one. I don't know if I'll rewatch it. I don't tend to rewatch a lot of things, but if you haven't seen it and you've got Apple TV, check it out. But also you should get Apple TV to at least check out Severance or Coda.
Ted Lasso.
And Lasso, yeah. So just watch all the spend the $5, watch all the things in a month, and then cancel it. I'll be honest, I'm a quote unquote fanboy, but I cancel Apple TV every
After
couple
you watch
months.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
Well,
much.
especially too, what is it going up to? $7 a month or $8?
Yeah, it's going up, and they're
going to, like,
losing
8.
me there. I'm
Yeah,
good.
originally it was like $5, and then too they used to offer like if you bought an iPhone, you get Apple TV for
got
a
a
year and stuff
Apple
like that.
TV.
Well,
is-
Selena Gomez was giving out 2 free months
Oh,
on her
okay.
Instagram story. That was last week.
Oh,
To promote
okay.
her new show that's on Apple TV.
Oh, okay. That's
My
pretty
cousin
cool.
like blew me up. I was at the bar. I go, "What? Like, is something wrong? Like, is something happened to the family?" She goes, "Oh no, Selena Gomez is giving out 2 free months of Apple TV. Do you have it?" I got that. Don't you worry.
Yeah, they like I know like earlier this year they offered like 6 months if you had a PS5. All you had to go on there and do is like download it and then you'd get the 6 months.
Yeah, I think I genuinely think I don't know if I got 3 months because of Xbox because I did sign up on my phone and then connected to my Xbox. So either because I never tapped in when I got my phone, or
Yeah.
because of Xbox, I ended up with like 3 free months on there, and I was like, oh, all right.
Well, yeah, and I think it is because they had these like smaller kind of projects. Like they didn't have a ton of stuff or a big library the way like Apple or Hulu or
Yeah,
or
I
not
was going
Apple, but
through it
Hulu,
the other
Netflix, like
day.
those
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
things.
I was going through it the other day, and I was just like, oh, man, they don't really have a lot on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like too now they have like Ted Lasso, which won a bunch of awards, Coda, and like they are making really good. I mean, even Cherry, which is like the Tom Holland and the Russo brothers movie, right? It's like they
Mhm.
are dipping their toes into these really expensive movies, and like even the morning show has like Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon and Steve Carell. Like,
Yeah,
all
they're
these-
really good at nailing big actors. Obviously,
Yeah, I
it's
think they have
Apple.
2 different Tom Hanks movies too.
Really?
They
Yeah,
do. Yeah, I
yeah,
haven't seen
yeah. Like
them.
one's Fincher or something like that.
Damn.
But I heard those are pretty good. Good movies. So I don't know. I mean, they kind of are on a ball, and it makes sense as to why they're maybe upping the price because now they're making.
They're like, all right, well, I actually have something for you motherfuckers to pay for now.
Yeah. So Coda won Best
Picture.
Picture. Yes, yes,
Nice.
and that's the first for Apple TV. So I think it's the first for any streaming platform for Best Picture. So it's a huge deal. Great movie. We'll have to rewind.
check that
one
out.
soon. Yeah. So, but yeah, we kind of mentioned earlier our next rewind, our next episode will be 42. And then after that we're covering. Yeah, after that we're covering Black Panther,
New
the
Black
new Black
Panther
Panther
movie.
movie. So
Yep.
exciting next week. I'm really looking forward to doing both those movies. So, but
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for listening.
All right. Thank you guys.
thank
I
you,
love
boys.
you boys.
Yep. I'll see you boys later.
All
Yeah.
right. Today's episode, hopefully the future, will be brought to you by Bud Light. We got it right here. Dilly dilly.
We can
Bud,
only hope.
Bud Light, please. I need this. I need this so bad.
Brian needs a sponsorship. Make this happen.
Guys, I got this giant ass Bud Light poster back here. Don't ask me how I got it, but I have it, all right?